Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to say a quick hello and good afternoon. If you're just joining us, well, this is Bridge Radio Africa. We're live coming to you from Detroit. And we also like to say a big thank you to our sister stations in Liberia. Joy FM 101.5, Live FM 104.1, and of course Super FM 95.5. This afternoon, we will play host to the mothers of the missing young men in the Bond County area. And tonight, folks, we are going to have on Mrs. Rosalyn Blamo, the wife of Mr. Robert Blamo Sr. and the mother of Robert Blamo Jr. We'll also have on Mrs. Gertrude Digon, and Gertrude happens to be the mother of, I believe, Boyman, right? And we'll also have on Mrs. Marcy Conan, who happens to be the mother of Safad. So, folks, make yourselves feel at home. Grab something to drink. Very shortly after we introduce my co-host, Mr. Volcano Shelton, we will be bringing live the mothers of the missing young man. And as always, folks, I'd like to say a big thank you again to our sister stations in Liberia, 104.1, 101.5, and 95.5. Please allow me to borrow the wordings of the wise man. Tough times don't last, tough people do. The height of a man is never known until he rises, because there's no second chance to make that first impression. Don't see okra and swallow bone, because you can't hide your nakedness from bathing bucket. When God bless you, don't see that medicine. Yours truly. The brother who doesn't eat iron, but he's definitely stronger than a lion. ASHFORD the giant, the medicine of the microphone, the golden voice of Liberia. Welcome. And we'd like to say congratulations to the president-elect, the 46th president, who will go on to be the 46th president of the United States of America, Joe Biden. Eva Shah, Philip Paswa is on deck, Hendy Mahaila, and we also see Charlene Dunbar, Clarence Jackson, Margaret Johnson, Grace Corrington Gore, Jawin Ken Weir, Henry Passowit, and the rest of the crew. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, please join me as we introduce to you our co-host, based out of PA. He's live with us now. Shelton, hello and welcome to the show.
Good to be back, Ashford. Another day in America. We just had the announcement on the news that Joe has been elected, president of the United States, the 46th president. We want to congratulate the Democratic Party for a job well done. It was a hard-fought campaign on both sides, and someone has to emerge the winner. And the declaration has been made. So congratulations to the American people for sticking with the democratic process. But But we're here again today to discuss the issues that have been trending in Liberia, particularly regarding three missing young men who alleged to be drowned in the St. Paul River. But the family members are very, very convinced that those three young men are still alive and they're being kept for ritualistic purpose. All fingers pointed to St. Moses, the owner of the St. Moses Funeral Home, and also alleged that some big hands in the country are backing Moses, and that includes the government of Liberia.
Okay.
So just wanted to bring people up to speed.
Okay, Sheldon, thank you. And the mothers who are already hurting have decided to come on tonight to tell the world, the president, and the people of Liberia that they want them to do everything so that the president can mount pressure on the security apparatus so they can do everything possible for their boys to resurface. The mothers believe the children are still alive and they have been held against their will. The strong conviction from their part. And over the last couple of weeks, we've heard from Mr. Blamo, Mr. Conan. We heard from the spokesperson of the Liberia National Police. Why don't we hear from the mothers themselves?
And that's why, everyone has been asking, where are the mothers? Because mothers have their intuition. Mothers will work from behind the scenes. So we're grateful that they could take time off their business schedule in this period of, sadness. I wouldn't call it mourning because, as I said, they're still convinced these boys are alive. But I think that coming here is to add their own, voices and weight to this investigative process. And we're happy to have them. And we can't wait to hear what they got to tell the world regarding their intuition, regarding, what they're doing behind the scenes in terms of supporting the men in search for the children. So we expect a lot today.
And to the callers and to the viewers, please show some respect to these ladies. They did not commit any crime. They didn't come here for you to be tough on them. As a matter of fact, we should feel their pain. Because when you carry a child for 9 months, and all of a sudden, people are second guessing as to whether your child left in the water or somebody took your child for ritualistic purposes, I think we should be here to listen to our mothers and hear what they have to say. At this point, I want to go to the line now. I believe we have two of the mothers on the line. Hello. Please come in and introduce yourself. Yeah, tell us your name, please.
I'm Mrs. Roslyn Lamo, mother of the missing boy, Robert N. Blamo Jr.
Thank you. That's the voice of Mrs. Roslyn Blamo. And there's another lady out there. Hello, ma'am. Welcome. Please tell us your name.
Hello?
Yes, you're live on the radio. Please tell us your name.
Hello? This is Ketu Digon, a mother of one of the missing kids, Walter S. Backward.
Okay. Well, again, thank you for coming to the world, coming to the international platform to plead your case.
Thank you.
Okay, let us begin with.
Thank you so much.
Mrs. Blamo, let us begin with you. Please tell us about your feelings. Tell us about the things you go through on a daily basis about your missing son.
Okay. First of all, I want to tell the Almighty, God, thank you for saving my life to see this day. And also, I want to tell you guys, thank you for the opportunity given to me to speak on this. this issue that occurred. Since then and now, I'm so down. I'm down, down, down. So my fellow colleagues out there, I mean, to say I'm one of the victims because it has in 2 years time to lost two children. My daughter, the late Chichi, Elisa Blamo, was killed in a car accident. March 15, 2020, I lost my son. Just in the space of 2 years time, I lost 2 kids. It's very hard for me. And I don't want this to happen to me again. So that's why I'm calling on the world at large to intervene, to help on our behalf, to see how best we can get our children back. Because I know within myself and God above, our children is still alive. So I'm begging you people, you guys, to put hands around us to see how best we can get our children back. Our son is the only dependable one for the father, myself, and the little sister, then our guy out there. He's our junior. And father, mother is turning old. The strength we had before, we are not having the strength this time. And he was a mechanic, patching up, seeing by the little sisters, going to school, paying school fees, feeding us and things. And we are so down. Father is crying day and night. So we're begging you people to come to our aid. Because we are going all around, from place to place, seeking for a address for this problem. And up to now, we haven't gotten any good results yet.
Thank you.
So I'm telling you, thank you for allowing me on this program.
Thank you. My friend will come in, but let me bring in Mrs. Gertrude Digon. Mrs. Digon?
Yeah.
The same question goes to you. Tell us how you feel now. I know it's tough. You told your son around for 9 months. Just when your son gets to the age to provide for his mother and his father, you get this kind of disturbing news. Tell us. I can't say I feel your pain because I don't know what you're going through now. We're listening to you.
Okay. Thank you for your opportunity given me for even be on the radio today. I tell you guys thank you because when we started this, everywhere we go, the people will tell us that their hands tired, they didn't able to talk. What made your hands tired, they didn't tell us? And we are not saying for somebody to even come to us, to come to our ears, to even help us in that direction to stop this case. When you go to the other side, upon the eyes that in most cases, they say they don't want to be part. But if they don't want to be part and the children are young like you, how really you think we can get our children? And our children are not there. And that little child that I'm talking about, their boy was a baby when his father died. And he left with me, a single mother. I have talked about this little child. He has reached his kid. My son is an engineer. He can go up and give you keys. So how will you come out to IT to do a piece of job for you? Then you will just tell me, say, my son got lazy. I'm not telling people. I don't even know what to suffer. I don't even know where to end it. But then I'm only asking you people, the international world, to help us in this direction. There are other people not able to help us. I think that's helping us would be much preferable. We are asking because we are going every day we didn't sit down. Every day we own our feet from place to place. asking for lawyers, asking for other people to help us in the direction. But then they don't want to help us. So I'm feeling high sometimes when I come in, I will be grieving until I express someone when I get on the street. If somebody will yell at me, I will not be like I'm doing things to myself. So most people, I don't even know where to start from, you know where to end. So I'm only asking you guys, I just start, I tell you people thank you. You should continue. And we asking the other nurse, women are in the working world to help us. Women are one. To help us, our people not able to help us. And help us in the direction so that we can be able to establish this case for us. I just want to tell people thank you. And I give people appreciation today for having me on a program today. And having me more than on a program today. I'm very thankful to you people. I tell the Almighty God, thank you for my life and the life of my children and the life of you people. For God to empower you people, for God to strengthen you, so that you people can be there for us. Thank you, people.
Shelton.
Yes, Ashford, this is hard. Even it's so difficult to even ask questions right now. But I just wanted to ask either one of you, Mrs. Blamo or Gertrude, um, could you people mobilize the market women? You remember when Liberia was in the heyday of the war and the women gathered and prayed, at the fish market? Could you people do that? Try to muscle the women of Liberia and you go and sit down right to George Weah or whatever it's called, Jamaica, a resort, or to the foreign ministry where the mansion is, and just protest there. Can you people do that? Because it seems as though everybody is playing. Have you thought about that?
We are going to the center of justice. We are going outside to the police. I think today we just coming from the police station. The police have to tell us that they don't have no claim or Moses. They can't even have Moses arrested. Even the suspect there, they don't have no claim on them until they establish their work. When will they establish their work? And so they're making it 3 weeks plus. So how they can establish their inner work? And we go to some people that will tell us that we will try to have the president involved. Until now, we will call your mama, they can't call us. So we are seeing that we're not even part of the society. As for me, I see that I'm not even part of the society. Because you can tell me, we make her a law, and I have my own law, they tell me I have a own law. No, I don't think so.
Mrs. Blamo,
If you tell my child I'm making, if you tell my child I'm making, you have to see a reason of coming to me and see how best you must establish the case and see how best we can set for the children. But he will tell us the life has raised, the life is scared, so he expects. So when and where and how you see we can start it now.
Mrs. Blamo, St. Moses and your husband are very close. And according to St. Moses, your son, the very same son, grew up in his hand. And it was the trust and the relationship between them. That was the only reason why you entrusted your son in the care of St. Moses. And according to your husband, he told St. Moses, I don't want my son to travel at night. When it is dark and there's no way for him to come, he shouldn't get on the road. And St. Moses himself said it. He said, I should have stopped them because the father told me to not allow the boys to leave late at night. And this is something that he said he still struggles with today. What is your take? How do you see this, Mrs. Blamo?
Well, it looked like it was just something that Moses planned to do. because when Moses called my husband to tell him that he wanted his son to go up there to do a piece of job for him, Moses told Moses that his son couldn't travel alone all along. He and his father then working together. And Moses still insisted that the boy go to return his bike. So Moses told him, Moses, when my son come up there when he's late, please don't let him come back to Monrovia. And when in my person, I was sitting along with him on Moses call. And Moses keep calling him that whole Friday and told him that he was going to send somebody Saturday morning to pick our little boy up. And 6 o'clock in the morning, the boy was there. He woke up just when he got ready and left. Throughout the day, on and on, we started thinking about him. We decided to call. But here, the phone call now going through. And Moses and Blamo talk. And the boy reached there by 2:33. He reached to where he went. And when the father called him, he responded and said, Daddy, I reached up, but nothing wrong with motorbike. Nothing is wrong with the motorcycle. I don't know why on the motorcycle you can't fix the bike. When the boy got through, he said he sat down on the bike waiting for Moses to come. And Moses went and stayed for the longest. So, well, calling Moses, the father wanted to talk to Moses. We couldn't get Moses. When you call, the boy, my son's was not going through. And go look, the boy that went along, another fellow went along with him. And so, when he called the phone, he said, oh, Moses, your son just went to go eat. Moses told him to go and eat. He said, I beg you, go there so I can talk with them. He said, oh, Mr. Blamo, the distance far. I want to go back. And already about 6:30 going to 7. I want to go back, but tomorrow morning, first in the morning, you will talk with him. Someone said, okay, but since there is a case, I beg you in the morning, let me speak to them. And for that day, said the night they will call Moses all along. All through, couldn't get Moses. Sunday morning, sitting at home, people start calling. Our son got dry, he left in water. I was running outside for in the room. Blamo, you are happy, Blamo? Blamo said, Rosin, take time, sit down. Nothing happened to Giambo. I said, Blamo, the third Giambo got in water to cross and he got dry. He is dead. Blamo said, Blamo started, he started calling, no call to go through, no call at all. Call Moses, no way. Call everybody we knew, no way. Call the funeral home, no way. Nobody could speak to us. So looking at two of our eyes, we saw just getting fast. No, I went off. I said, for them, it might be true. When I look, as our priest drove in the yard, look, Moses, car key in the yard too. That's how Blamo already now. People planning him and all those kind of things. So the priest came apart and went inside. They brought Blamo outside, came on the Palawa, started training him. And he said, and Father said, look, Blamo, Moses called our last place, announced something, and told us, Blamo had got dry in the water. And we told him we couldn't come because I was late. In the morning, if they should they come in the morning, then they will come off. In the morning they came, they went to the house. Someone said, let me speak to Moses. And Moses gave my son to her, and Moses was giving my son a life. One of the men called Moses, and Moses started carrying us doing this. I gave him to say you are crying, and doing all kind of things. Someone said, Moses, my son, I knew my son back. Because I know my son is not dead. And that it happened on Sunday. Monday morning, Blamo got up and went to Central. carry the complaint. They gave some 2 cross-armed policemen. They said no transportation, no vehicle to take the people off, no this, no that. Someone say we'll make a way, we'll get a way for them to go. We'll get them for them, we'll pay, I will fast and we'll go up there. I don't know, then let them win. They all the search, they could search. Ask all the people. Everybody said no kino capsa. Nothing they never saw, nobody ever used that part before. That place was a disaster place where they carry Blamo. And they walk hours and hours and hours in the bush. They call people. They call the old lady, the old man, call people, talk to people, say, my brother, nobody got dry and nobody used paper. They said they were there off. Moses said, was never call Moses. That's the number of going to say he will go. As long as the son went through, he will go through too. So they start falling the people. And everybody they call. Even the terror was not went up there. They saw where they gave Blamo. They said that the suspect went to the police let the people to go. So that he just betrayed us. He betrayed us for Blamo knowing most of many years when you were mechanic. Not even funeral time, playing football all together. Most of he betrayed us. He betrayed us. And so hurtful to see that today. Nobody can stop for us. Nobody can say nothing. All the places we are going. The police, we went to associate female lawyers, we went to the Natural Council of Churches, we even wrote the church. We wrote them, everybody. And we up to now, we haven't no redress yet. Yes, and after we wrote them.
This is Blamo.
Wrote them. ECOWAS, we wrote everyone we can turn just for us to get a redress for our children. Because our children, we want them back. And we know within ourselves, we show that they are alive. We show. And the guy of police man, most property. Here in my the funeral home, police there. In the bush to the Damo man, police there. Everywhere. They tear gas us, the love of the children, everybody. Can they take or carry them? Yeah. We have never seen a police to come to us, to reach to the family. We have never seen no police. So we're begging the world at large to come to our assistance, to help us get what you went back.
Mrs. Blamo, do you think that Moses is taking advantage because of your financial status?
Come again.
Do you think that Moses is doing all of this, putting money up front? The government is snailing all of this because of your financial status?
Perhaps, really, I don't know much about it. But if they can protect Moses, then that means they're spending money. Maybe Moses spending money if they can protect him.
And that's why I'm asking, because if you are spending money, maybe things could push. And unfortunately, that's the kind of country.
Yeah, it could be.
But Gertrude,
it could be.
Mrs. Degon, let me ask you this, Gertrude. You people are mothers. The question my friend asked earlier, you got market women who have children themselves. I believe it was last week where you saw women trooping the streets of Monrovia for breast cancer. You have 3 missing young boys. What are the women doing? Sometimes they would tie a lapa, get in wet clothes, and lie down on the floor and call for justice. These 3 boys could have been your children. And we have mothers who are politicians in Liberia. We have mothers whose husbands are politicians in Liberia. You have an opposition that are just thinking about themselves so that when they finally get a chance, they can go and steal their own money too. It's all about what they can get for themselves. But these are human beings. Why are they not saying anything, Gertrude?
Yeah. Come again?
I said, why are other women not joining you to help look for your missing boys? You have women whose husbands are politicians. You have women who are politicians. You have a very weak opposition that only think about their own selfish and pocket. They don't care about the vast majority of Liberian people. They're only waiting so that when they get the chance to take leadership, so that they can start to steal their own money too. Or we're talking about human being missing, and we can't hear from the opposition. We can't hear from other women. Mrs. Digon?
We don't going to other people. I think we went to the union councilor that inside here. We don't going from place to place. Look, some of them when we got to them, they say, we didn't know we just hearing it, but we will see how best we will call you people back. Therefore, no call councilor the market. If I call them out, when they do that, when they say, tomorrow when we call them, they will never pick up their phone, my brother. They will never. We'll see how best we can establish it with the president. And like this, they will not call, when we call them, then they will never pick up their phone again. They think they just went for a hell of a long time. No, we spoke. Some people that time you go to them, they say, oh, that's the most problem. That problem, they're behind you. Then, that all that they finish, they will never say nothing. Other children that got with all that day to go protest to see motor error, they have to tear down their children and grab them and put them to jail. So it's like people are afraid. So when they say us be in behind and we look in that direction, we say that's true because if the government can come out and say anything about it, those 3 young boys, then what you think it will be kind of us tomorrow. So for me, I can just see that we don't even have government in that way. That's my feel right now.
So, my Gertrude, the police spokesman came on here the other night, said they have reached out to you people. They said they found one dead body, and they believe to be one of the boys. But y'all refused to go to, identify the dead body. We want to hear from you, the mothers. Is that true, Ma?
Yes, it's true that we haven't gotten to them yet. We're not expecting nobody. We don't want nobody. We don't want living children. We're not going to see anybody. We'll not see it.
Okay, so because you convinced your children are alive,
they're not dead. So
okay.
we're not going to see any dead body. That they know that they must carry to the back of their mind that our children is alive. That's it.
But we told Moses to go beat the body. We told Moses to go beat the body. Then they say they found body. We are not looking for body. That Moses looking for body. So we told Moses we told them that they should call Moses because Moses they are inside them. And Moses knew about the 3 boys food. So that Moses go there and feed them and see the person. But as far as I'm concerned, they can stay alive. If no government can work with us, we see our children. And I don't care. They don't work. I don't care. They don't work with us. We take to the children because God is there. God comes first. Government just amazing.
Yes, and secondly, Moses know our children very, very well. He knows each and every one of them. Moses, let him go and see the body and identify who the child is that. Let Moses go and identify the body. He know all the children. He know Chiaba well, he know Baba well, he know Shaba well, very well. Moses will be telling who's on the body, is that not us?
So if Moses identified the body,
14 days before something about it, we can bring up. While somebody be in water 2-3 days, the body float. Moses will take us, he's going to take us to right off. And what he's supposed to know. Yeah, the one you have been doing enough is enough.
Well, folks, if you just
From closer to the river, from closer to St. John River. So when somebody got drinking water, I made everywhere. They play the cello us that day, but not even play that people can catch. And when we ask the township from the township to other, nobody fight here, nobody got drunk in the water. And the next thing I want to say that the king of the children used that night, they may say us that the king of the three prices. The king of the three prices. So how come this prices got in the king yet? And I only the 3 children are from over got drunk in the water. But the 3 children are from that share, they didn't, nothing happened to them. So it just teaches to me that I can tell tomorrow today, tomorrow that he lied to me, he lied to me. I can't believe him today, I can't believe him tomorrow. But I can't consent. My son baby, because when something happened to me, if I get into it, I will know. So they said that they children in their hand, because that when we get what they want to do, so they can do it. But most will produce their children.
Well, folks, if you just joining us, this is Ashford GARLEY live from Bridge Radio Africa. We're also on Super FM 95.5 in Monrovia, Liberia. We are on Live FM 104.1 in Monrovia as well. And we're on Joy FM 101.5 in Monrovia as well. Mrs. Blambo, your husband was on here the other night, and he said the police director, Patrick Sodu, knows where the boards are, and they're only asking them to produce the boards. Is that the same belief that you have?
Yeah. Yes, come again.
Your husband was on here the other night, and he said the police director, according to him, knows where the boards are, and he's only asking him to produce the boards. Is that the same way you think?
Yeah, we're getting information that the children, well, if they're on their side, then we got it the last time they were in the funeral home. When we got to know, trying to see how best we can get there. They took them from there, they get to another side. They just dancing the children all around. Moses got the children. He knows where the children is now as I'm speaking. Moses knows. And you know that the brother know, yeah? But they want to put their hand in what is happening to us and why they draw it back. Once you got the children is a life. The children is a life. They take them from one place to another, from one place to another.
Yeah. Moses know that the children are alive. Abraham's family know that the children are alive. They see people. When they say government are getting to them, then they finish producing no children. They finish producing no children. They don't want no children. They don't want people then they know. But as far as I'm concerned, they will get their children. Who love us, they will get their children. Because maybe who are in the country will not get government. So you are in your government, you are concerned, they will get our children. See people.
Shelton, you can come in, and then so we can open the telephone lines and folks how they can call into and weigh in.
This question is for either Mrs. Blummer or Gertrude. With your conviction that your sons are alive, what do you think the state of condition is? What do you think the state of condition is after all these days, or put it more than 2 weeks now? What does your mind tell you as a mother?
Yeah. That's why God all worried. Because for the sense they took Mocho, they took Mocho is 3 weeks. Plus now, I'm going to a month. Because I know maybe they're not eating, they're torturing them, they're doing something to them. That's my worry. So that's why we are asking people for them to get there or there, let us have our children back. Because now, time is running off. Because once they die, they will not be doing no good treatment. They will not be taking care of them. And hurting me so much to see as a family, woman, mother, around with child who know how I know to take care of my children. Because I see them 3 times a day. When they're sick, I know. But for the past almost 4 weeks now, I can't lay eyes on my son. I can't lay eyes on him. So know how you have been maltreated. So we are calling on you people to try to help us.
Mrs. Blamo, your husband said that when you give your child to the devil for juju business and you change your mind to take that child back, that you would die. So in this case, he said Moses knows about this. So if Moses tried to go and get a train back, that he the one that would kill. Is that the same belief you have too?
Yes. That's why he holding on to this. That's why he holding on to this. And that's just what is going on. It's so true.
So, Mrs. Blamo, I know that you have a strong conviction, but some of our viewers, our listeners, they think that the children are dead, and that's why they keep dragging, because they can't produce no body evidence. They've done what they had to do. I know it's going to be hard to hear this, but do you ever second guess yourself? Do you sometimes say, wait a minute, maybe this could be true, then I kill my children, and they've done their sacrifice, that's why they can't produce these living children? Have you ever thought about that?
I've never had such feeling. My children, those children, they are alive. That's why I keep stressing. Because I know they are alive. What happened to my daughter, teaching when she passed off, that feeling that I got, I knew she was dead. It happened to my little son, Marco. When Marco passed off, that feeling I keep to me. For this boy, China boy, that feeling has never gotten to me, and I know in myself he is alive. The children is alive.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Let us go.
Once I believe that they are dead, I want them for this day, from today forward, for them to know that they are alive.
Okay. Thank you, Mrs. Blamo. Let us take 3 calls at a time. And I have 3 callers on the line now. Please wait until I talk with these callers before you begin calling. The number to call is 248-979-1718. We have a 763 number. This person has been on hold for a long time. The last 4 digits, 9914. Please tell us your name.
When I call you from Minnesota.
You're live on the radio. Go ahead.
Yeah, I want to commend you always for this live broadcast and always bringing those men that got missing, because they're not children, the old men that got missing. But you know what I have to tell the public is that the government of Liberia as well is the particular guy who went and stole a goat, and they went and got into a car lot, and they were able to arrest the men who had killed those guys. All the men, the general that died. Why the government cannot try the same way and get the children back? And besides that, see, Moses right now, he is the one that killed the children, not having the children. If any common person like me, who here, if you yourself have a Garley, Mr. Garley, you have to go in like
you don't know for a fact. You don't know for a fact whether the kids are there. You can't just come out rather and say, "See, Moses is the one that killed these children, my brother."
Okay, thank you. Sorry. Okay, I'm sorry for that. Anyway, I would say that. I would say sorry. But let's assume a common man in Liberia will have a kid right now and say, "My child got missing. I cannot find the child." Right now, the Liberia police will get behind that particular man and know the way about that child. But being that Moses is a person that have a hand in the government, like a big hand behind, there's a reason why the government taking this case less.
Thank you.
But my dear brother and sister in Liberia, you guys have to put strength in this thing. Let Moses provide those men. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We have a 347 number. The last 4 digits 4222. Tell us your name, please.
Hello?
Yes, you're live on the radio.
Yeah, this is Dell, and I'm calling from New York. Thanks for having me on the show today, ASHFORD. First of all, I want to say a very big thank you to the Bridge Radio for what you guys have done. And to be honest, what's going on right now, I think it could be any mother, that your child is missing and you're not going to feel comfortable about that. So I'm a little disappointed to see, our mothers, sisters, and brothers, in Liberia, especially Monrovia, or where the thing happened. They're sitting and saying nothing or doing nothing about it. And, to be honest, the government is a kind of government that needs fire. And if you don't put fire on their back, they're going to take your kids less. I think what the women need to do right now is they need to start engaging, the student council government. Because I believe those kids that were in school and one way or the other, there's a student council government. They need to meet the student council government and, tell them what's going on and exactly they can mobilize. Because it's all about mobilizing people. Because if they keep going to the police station and meeting XYZ person, they're not going to help. They're not going to do anything.
Thank you.
They need to come up with strong force. They need force. And some of us at least out here, we can, whatever support we can give, we can start from there. Those kids, they are alive. They are alive. I believe they are also alive.
Thank you. Okay, let's go to Texas. We have Kalon Zayi on the line. Hello, Kalon.
Hi, ASHFORD and VOLCANO. I just want to say to the mothers that we feel your pain. I've never lost a child, but from a mother to another mother, I can understand. But I have a question, and I'm sorry for the loss of your children. We are praying with you. I even contributed to the money that ASHFORD generated the other. But I have a question. I don't know which one of the mothers said something I'm not going to put it down. One of you said, and all of you say you know to Moses too well. And one of the mothers said, to Moses has long been doing this, and this is the last. So are you trying to say, in short, that you know that this is Moses' norm? That is my question. Maybe.
Okay. Take the last caller and then go back to the studio. 609 number.
Thank you, brother. How are you doing? This is James Quay. I'm calling you from New Jersey.
You're live on the radio.
Thank you, brother. And if you have time for me, let me tell you something. I have experienced this particular situation before, and that was way back in 1988. And what they are doing right now, just to cut the long matter short, is that they are keeping the boys just so that you will bow down. But what surprises me most is the reaction of the family. Trust me, if this was me, God forbid, if this was me, you rather put me in jail. But I am going out to go against Mr. Moses. Look, brother, as for these guys are still alive. Okay, these guys are still alive. I have that particular conviction after speaking to people from Liberia. These guys are alive, but they are going to sacrifice the children. And because the government is involved, they are not paying any heed to do what they're supposed to do. Look, in 1988, in peaceable town, what the government did was government dispatched military. And what happened? They punished the people that were involved. And what happened in the end? They directed us where the children were. But the government is doing nothing. The first thing is supposed to be punishing right now. Say Moses. They call him Moses. I call him yes. See, they call him Moses. He's supposed to be punished under punishment right now.
Thank you.
As well as the guy who has the island.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
So all I'm telling you is that these guys have kidnapped the children. They have the children kept somewhere. And if we close our mouth, just forget about it. The children will be gone.
Thank you.
Mothers,
Mothers.
Thank you so much. Kalon, you mistaken the window. Just complete your thought, and then we can go back in the studio.
Yeah. I was asking. One of the mothers said, "This is the last. He long been doing it, and this is going to be the last." So I'm trying to ask him. Are they trying to tell us, the international, the whole public, or the whole world, they know for a fact that this is Moses' norm? And if they knew, why, when you know fire is somewhere, then you go stand in the fire? Why did you people allow your kids to go, knowing in your mind that you already said this is his last? So I'm a mother, so I'm kind of concerned. That's my question. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Want to go back in the studio, Shannon? Perhaps you can come in and go back to the mothers again.
I guess we'll just go to the mothers. Maybe I don't know if they heard this last question, but that's a sensitive question. If you want me to reiterate, because we don't know the connection on the other end. Mrs. Blamo, are you there?
Yes.
All right. One of the callers, a female, asked that one of you mothers said that St. Moses has been doing this for a long time. How do you know he's been doing it for a long time? Because this is the last he would do it. And if you knew that St. Moses has been doing it for a long time, then why will you allow your children to go to him in the bush?
As for me, my son was encouraged by Abraham Samuel. I think was encouraged by Abraham Samuel. He didn't just get the answer Moses. He was waiting for Abraham Samuel. But Abraham Samuel said, to Moses, you should tell me this twice. And that's the said that my son was waiting with Moses. That's it. So that Abraham Samuel and Moses collaboration team we are talking to.
Yeah, let me come in. I'm coming. We've been hearing is what has said, recently when this thing happened. By his own children, his daughter, I think in the States there somewhere, she said her father is a wicked man, very wicked, and he doing these things. I don't know why we call him the channel before about him. She started to tell her some story. But we never had that mind that Moses would ever do such thing to us. Based on the years that we've been knowing him. All of these thoughts came in when it happened to us. It happened this time around. That one time most of you about these things. Yeah. So that we got to trust our child with him. Oh, no one knew would do it. Do searching to us. Maybe it was just a rumor for now we know it's true. That's why he then carry on.
And then, Carlos, we say thanks
for
this
particular one will be the last one that Moses will ever to do anybody and go start with.
Okay, Carlos, again, thanks for your concerns.
Because
and,
why I want to act like this?
Okay.
Yeah.
Want to go to Australia? Now, the last 3 digits, 800.
Good morning from Australia. I'm Patrick Ray. And my concern here is just with the Liberian National respect to the Constitution. Article 21 of the Liberian Constitution, Section C. It says, every person suspected or accused of committing a crime shall immediately upon arrest be informed in detail of the charges and rights. And it goes on. So this St. Moses fails to be as accused, he fails to be suspected. Why is he not being arrested? And why is the Constitution not being upheld in this regard? I really have concerns with this. Why is Symbiosis not being arrested? He also has the right to a counsel. Arrested, interrogate him. He has the right also to be bailed while this investigation undergoes. So the problem here is, what is the stake of the Liberian police in upholding the Constitution to arrest this man, have him on bail anytime he's needed? He should be turned over by his counsel.
Thank you.
And then the investigation until there's a finding.
Thank you.
It really makes us. This is why people think that they have something to do with it, because they are not upholding the Constitution here.
Thank you. And again, the police still maintains that St. Moses is now a person of interest. But even if they do arrest him, they have up to 48 hours to release him. So they are doing other investigation. And if the needs arise where he can be arrested, they will do so. We want to go back to the line, 717. Hello.
Hi, ASHFORD. This is Grace, president of Liberian Women Advocacy Network International. And I just want to say to the mothers, Mrs. Blamo and the other two mothers that lost, they're still looking for their young sons. I want to say that we are in solidarity with you guys. And my concern is with the Liberian women in Liberia. I want to ask these women in Liberia, where is the togetherness that we saw with our parents? That when something happened in the neighborhood, all the parents were involved. Why are you people leaving the Blamos and the rest of the women then to just suffer? With all you people helping them because you're saying that, oh yeah, everybody say big hands is that. But regardless of what hands is that, why are you not supporting the other women as women? Because today is Mrs. Blamo and the other women says, tomorrow it could be your own. We see people gather in Liberia, women upon women. I mean, the streets were full, and they were marching for they were doing breast cancer awareness march. It's good for them to do that, but when they call them to protest for them to build medical facilities and put instruments in those facilities, they sit back. And you marching for breast cancer awareness, but where are the hospitals where you have breast cancer? And our problem with what they really doing, like what they have missed priority. That's what they have. So there's Mr. Blamo, it could be your own attack tomorrow. We are calling on the women of Liberia. You need to get together and help the Blamos and the rest of the women. Don't forget Mr. Blamo, but his wife is a woman. And the other lady in the studio, she lost her son in this process as well. And another woman is a victim of this thing. What is the togetherness? I remember one time I was coming from Nima County in the war. And the people wanted to seize me and were in a bus. They wanted to seize me. I went check them because the mentor I was a Mandingo lady, Mandingo girl. That time I was very young. And the women in that bus swear they were not going to leave me to that place that day. The women then got there, they fought for me. My mom was not there. My papa was not there. I had no family members there. So women skip the ground. We step in that town and the next day they represent to the women say, oh, you're not fair for the gentleman, you're getting the car and you're cool. And I have my life for sale today. I found myself in the great United States of America. Where is that togetherness? And my question is like, thank you, ASHFORD.
Thank you. 609 number, and then we'll go back to the studio. Hello, caller, 0451.
Thank you very much, ASHFORD. The question is this: where is Mama Sikaba? If she is a mother, if she is a woman, you got this woman crying in studio. Why are you not moving in her favor? The question, the issue here is this. Look, ASHFORD, when the government hands are in the situation, they don't do what they're supposed to do. And trust me, look, this one here, even if there's the same content supposed to come out, the government is involved in this one. Otherwise, their action could be very much different. I can compare it to some years back. Look, the government is involved. What the parents can do is that, look, you know what happened? I want to see you as a mother, my Brahmo, to get into the street, you know what happened, and see what you can do, and the other women will join you. Leave. Your children are missing. You're supposed to leave right now. Stop talking on the phone, on the radio. You leave right now. Protesting. Other people will join you. The children are alive. I am aware they are alive.
Thank you.
But they will stay there very soon. Thank you.
Wow.
That's
Mrs.
a big one.
That's a powerful.
That's a big declaration. Yeah,
I'm telling you.
and we're hopeful for that.
Mm,
Yeah, Ashford,
yeah.
I wanted to ask Mrs. Blamo and Gertrude. There are oppositions in the country, irrespective of what the government is doing and how lackadaisical they're approaching this whole investigation. Have they reached out to people like Senator Darius Dillon, who is vocal? Yaka Kolba, Representative Yaka Kolba. Those guys can put weight on this, even though it's the election season's coming up and they're all campaigning. But just wanted to check with Mrs. Blambo if you can hear me. Have you guys tried to reach out to at least two of the vocal oppositions, Darius Dillon and that of Yaka Koluba?
Yeah. Yes. We really want it to be a political thing. So we are calling on everybody to come to our assistance or our aid. If Darius here, it's fine. If Yaka here, it's fine with us. If you want to come in, no problem about it. We are calling everybody who can get to and be with us. It will be fun for us.
Mrs. Digon, get through?
Yeah.
The same question to you. Have you been able to reach out to Senator Dillon, some of the female politicians that Madela Cooper, Jibama Wodo, these are all feminine women in the society, and
Yeah, Young Bikanga. Young Bikanga Lawrence.
Oh, they have influence in the country. Have you been able to reach out to them? Because they themselves have kids, have daughters, have sons, you know?
We don't have family with that because we have been going, trying our possible best. If even we can go to them, it is if they can call us to establish with us, no problem. If they come to help us in that direction, no problem, they are welcome. We do not want our children out from where they are at, the captivity that they are in. We just want them to be free from it. Because whether they are eating, whether they well, whether they not well, they say nobody know the kind of thing they are going through. So we are calling on everybody. It can be a women group from Nigeria, men, whosoever we are calling upon them to help us in this direction. Because for me, I even know what to start and know where to end it. Because it's just shocking, and even I'm talking, my head can be writing. As we just talking right now, my head is not writing.
And Impact Sheldon, I want to agree with one of the viewers. I think this guy is with me, colleague. He said if people don't even have to reach out to them because as a Liberian politician, you know about the issues, you know what's going on in your country. These are some of the things that you need to get and take action right away instead of waiting to be called.
You're right, and then but also it turns into a political sensation where the CDC government might say they're looking for a platform to discuss. So sometimes if the family go to these people, petition them, put paper to them, then it's formal. So it could be a two-way street.
Okay, let us take it a step further. We practiced journalism in Liberia. When there was time where we became very investigative, we went digging until we found out the root cause of everything. What are our brothers and sisters doing as it relates to journalism in the country? They talk about a story for a day or two and they drop it.
Well, I know the family then going, to the media. I saw Mr. Blambo and Mr. Conan both on 50/50, the 50/50 show with T-Max on Sky FM. But I don't know how much more they've done. And sometimes too, now that we know that they've hired the service of Mr. Kofi Woods, maybe he might advise them to stop the media, appearances. So we can't say But you're right. The media should continue to publish, publish this issue in all of the newspapers, talk about it on the radio, bringing guests, professionals on the ground, who will be talking about it. But then when you come back to the whole idea of where big hands are in there, people don't want to be bothered. Can you imagine a law firm turning a case down of this magnitude? So we don't know, Ashford. There could be more, behind the scenes kind of heavyweights who are, just pressuring people from here, there, and yonder and telling them to shut their mouths. And come to think about it, 4 auditors passed. Maybe they were trying to unearth some important, financial discrepancies in the country. So it's a sticky matter, you know. But we want to encourage the media not to go cold on this. We want to encourage our colleagues, the Press Union of Liberia. This is a big issue that they need to get involved with. And no matter if lives are on the line or threats, they still need to do their jobs as journalists, like you and I are doing. It's not because we're in America, it's comfortable. No, that's not true. If I were in Liberia, I would be vocal the same way, you know. But unfortunately, I feel for the family, I feel for the mothers, and I hope that resolve will pay dividend and that the kids will come back.
Mrs. Blum, walk us through. Almost 3 weeks now. You still haven't seen Robert Blamo Jr. Every day you imagine to see your son walk through the door and say, "Mama, I'm home." And you get up in the middle of the night, you think about your son. Before you go to bed, you think about your son. The same with Mrs. Gertrude Deacon. Just tell her about how do you start and end your day, especially with the kind of situation you're involved with now? Mrs. Blamo?
Yeah?
Do you get the question?
Come again?
I said, tell us, how do you begin and end your day with the situation where you can't find Blamo Jr.? You get up in the middle of the month, in the night, you think about your son before you go to bed. You think about your son. I know you missed the good old days before the 3 weeks. Blamo will come home and say, "Mama, I'm hungry," and you know how it feels when the boy is going without food. So what goes through your mind on a daily basis when you think about your son?
I think about it every day. You bring tears to my eyes. Because up to now, to rather sit by myself and eat is hard. Because I'm thinking how the children, they are eating. I'm thinking what I'm touching and things are going through. I'm very worried about them. Touching my son, I think about him. Sometimes I can imagine him coming. I'm sitting, looking all through the window. If someone he drop him inside the road and he get closer to come in the yard, it will be all right for me. I worry about him too much.
Gertrude, you said earlier that your partner passed on when your son was very young. You are not a single parent. Tell us, what do you go through every day?
The only thing that they worry me so much, but after that I encourage myself with Bible verses, with praying, because I know I don't care how it is, I will see my son. Because it's not matter in terms of everything, in terms of difficulty, you should give God his glory. And you should give him the problems, you will work on your behalf. So I know this is the next battle. When I see some boys telling that my son cry passing, I feel hurt. But then I can give everything to God, because when I sleep, I will get from there. I start thinking, how really will I see my son? What really will I do to see my son? What kind of thing he's going through? It hurt me a lot. But I know with God, all things are possible. because I know it's a genetic battle. It's not for us. God will fight the battle and end it. I don't care what people want to identify with her, but God will identify with her and the children will come back to her.
Sheldon.
Yes, Sis Gertrude, I'm very, very, empathetic and sympathetic to your plight, and I like the foundation you base your faith on and your conviction. God will fight your battle. God will fight your battle. It's unfortunate that the churches where all this declaration of God, and God is in control, have not even joined you folks to rally support in the congregation to move this case forward. But again, it begins with one church. What is the support that you're getting from your church? Meaning, respectively, Mrs. Blamo get you, or I don't know if the corner are Muslims, the mosques or so forth. Because it begins with one of those institutions that you are a part of. Are you getting support from them?
For me, since I've got a problem, even the church at attending, they are not coming to me one day to tell me, say, oh, but you are willing. And I do have problem with that. I'm not telling me, I'm telling God. I'm not telling me, I'm telling God. I have problem with that. Now, even my friends then, my sister, my brother then, they are things for him. All of them, they want to the house. Because to go by, they say the same thing I want to go back. But the same way I have right now, but not in the church. My church are not come to my area. One day to me, I think say what going in. Maybe.
And Mrs. Blamo, same question for you, because I know you are a devout Catholic.
Yeah.
Have your church reached out to you?
My church has came to me. They start with me and follow things for me. Even the like records of churches have gotten to me. They send for me. I went and explain. They are trying to do their best, but just they can do more than what they're supposed to do. They can leave the government back and do anything for at least in prayer with me, the churches, and things happen to me. I think of myself, they trying in the weak way to do what they can do to help us.
Well, Sheldon, I think the next step is Mrs. Blamo and the rest of the mothers don't believe the boys drowned. Our next step is to individually interview the 3 survivors. And I think that's going to happen next. And no 3 person will give story. There has to be some type of different thing that we have to say. And so that will be our next step. Now, Mrs. Blamo, so have you been able to see the 3 survivors, the people who said yes, who were in the canoe, we jumped in and survived, but 3 left in the water? What do you know?
No, I haven't seen them yet. Even a meeting with the police who requested for them, but they never show them to us. And we keep asking for them. Up to now, we haven't seen them.
So I wanted this
draws my none of them. We even know how they look.
I was about to say they draw to my attention. Have this story been published in the newspaper? Because then it's possible if it's published in the newspaper, they will have the photos of your sons and it will have the photos of those suspects who are professed to be survivors. Is there anything like that in the papers?
Coming again?
You say you have not laid eyes on these so-called survivors who are the suspects. I'm asking if whether there is a newspaper that have carried this a whole story, because oftentimes they will have the pictures of, you know, the victims and those of the accused. Have you seen any newspaper in the country at all regarding this incident?
Yeah. We haven't seen none of them. In the print media, in picture, the national media, nothing. We haven't seen them.
Wow, Ashford.
Nothing.
And that's why we are going to go further in connecting with Mr. Blamwood and Mr. Conan so that they can produce the three survivors. You were on the other night when the police spokesperson said he was going to have a talk with one of the investigators. It hasn't happened. So I believe they should produce the three survivors so that we can quiz them as well.
Yeah, because if those survivors, you know, are released out on bail with the lawyers, like he said, we should be able to speak with them. But this scares me. If nothing covered in the papers, Ashford, especially showing the pictures, you know, of, you know, that's not cool. Then that means everything is being shady.
Maybe Mr. Blambo didn't see the coverage in the papers. It could have been.
That's what I'm saying. I said if.
This is a big story. This is a big story. Yeah.
Yeah. This is not an ordinary story. It should be trending in the papers, especially the case is so much of an ongoing case.
And there seems to be a little contradiction earlier when the other night when we had Mr. Conner on, he said they were not contacted for them to come and identify the body. And later on today, you hear something different, that because they strongly believe that the kids are not dead, they have no reason to go and identify some type of body.
And that was the premise Mrs. Blamos, you know, put forth.
Yeah.
I'm not coming to pretend like I want to know my child is dead when I know he's alive. So don't even bring no Santa Claus or Omen Baker in front of me for me to identify. I'm not interested. And I think that's the conviction they have. And that's why they didn't go, you know, when they were requested. But you know, again, Ashford, this is sad.
What is the relationship with St. Moses and this government? You get the bodies that were found on Broad Street, St. Moses was on the scene. Just the other day, when the fallen public works minister body returned, St. Moses is dead. Everything that has to do with mysterious death, you will see St. Moses. And in my belief, the government is not doing much to help the Blamos, the Conans, and of course the G-Cons. What is going on, Sheldon?
But with this, if you draw your, you know, analysis with all of, you know, the government's relationship with Moses, then you're going to declare to the families, to those people who are with the families, to believe that, you know, there are big hands in this. Let's be radically practical here. If Moses is the prime person of interest, then of course, by this time, Moses should be interrogated, and not be going around scot-free. He should be in a place where they are interrogating him, where they're interrogating those so-called survivors who allegedly were on the canoe. But to have everybody just in their own directions, why you think that the family wouldn't believe that this whole thing is a construct to have the young man sacrificed for ritualistic purpose? Why wouldn't you think that? Let's be frank. Moses Carter came on and he didn't really say much to corroborate that the government is doing, you know, very well, speeded, you know, investigation. It's gone 3 weeks now, making it today 3 weeks, exactly 3 weeks, and everything is just slow pacing. It's just lazy. So, you know, why wouldn't they think that?
And
Somebody said that the New Dawn newspaper printed out the story when it just started, but there has been no other newspaper in the country carrying it. Uh, and that up to date with the latest findings on the three survivors. So,
now something future is going on with the story of Moses. You just listened to Mrs. Blum, what she said when JR went to the site. He said, and he called me and said, you know what? There's nothing wrong with the bag. The bag is okay. And then Moses came on the show and said, and asked Jack, what? You mean you finished with that bag so quick?
mhm.
According to Mrs. Blamo, it took Moses forever. Forever. After JR said, you know, I got to go back. The bag is done. There's nothing wrong with this bag. Why it took him so long to respond? After he asked JR, say, you done with the bag so quick? And then when we interviewed Moses also, from the onset, he started to register his condolences. In his mind, the boys are dead. And at the end of the interview, he also expressed his condolences.
Exactly. And again, like I said, he took a third party story according to the whole thing, where he was never on the scene. He was not in that canoe to have known what happened, but he was just so convinced. So was it, the story was made up? Could be made up. And but again, if the government was doing a very honest investigation, uh, giving these people justice, maybe by this time a lot would have been uncovered. Um, but their resolve to keep praying, their resolve to keep fighting, I think is tenacious, and we'll hope that something comes out of it, and hopefully the sons are alive and can be returned to them. I'm just concerned about the state of condition, because that's why I asked the question to Mrs. Blamo. What does she think the state of condition of these young men, having been kept against their will for 3 weeks as of today, and with them believing that they are alive? What could their state of condition be when they finally release them or find them in a suspicious way?
Well, Mrs. Rebel Lynn Martha Blamo says she has some recordings in her possession. A conversation between Moses and her parents. I would want her to please release those recordings to us so we can go through them and see what we pick up from them. Well, time has caught up with us. Again, we want to say a big thank you to Joy FM 101.5. We want to say a big thank you to Laugh FM 104.1, Super FM 95.5, and want to go back to the parents to give us their closing statement. Let us begin with Mrs. Rosalind Blambo.
Yes, I want to say a very big thank you to you all out there for having me on this show today. And I want to call on the one at large to please join with us for our children's safety and for them to come back to us. We beg you all. We say thank you very much.
Get through.
Yeah.
It's time for us to go. Anything else you have to say before we leave you guys tonight?
I just want to tell you people many things for your hard work today. I give your team appreciation for having us on the show today. I tell you for thank you. That God bless you people. As you establish it, you're keeping 3 weeks. You're praying by us so that we can be able to get our children, so that we all can be there and be glad in it. Thank you ever so much for what you people are going to do.
Thank you. Thank you, Mrs. Blambo. Thank you, Gertrude. Have a good night, and we'll stay in touch, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Now, Sheldon, as we wrap up
Bye-bye.
tonight, what did you gather from the statements from the parents, especially the mothers? Now, coming from the mother perspective, you sense a different kind of narrative.
Absolutely, absolutely. And mothers have the sixth sense, the strong intuition. And Mrs. Blambo says she has not had, uh, you know, any kind of negative vibe since this whole story came about. She's convinced her son is alive and that of the other mothers. Um, but you know, uh, we can only hope, for the best for this family or these families, and hope that those guys are alive. If this whole story is concocted to create, this ritualistic sacrifice as being, projected. Again, we will continue to ask this government to be very, swift. Put some logistics in place, put some men in place, put your best in place because this is a big, big, big issue. We can't have all these deaths back to back to back, or you know, uh, projected death regarding the three men, and nothing is being done at this time. So please, Mr. Police Director, uh, Mr. Justice Minister, Mr. Chief Justice, Mr. Internal Affairs Minister, whatever, all of you different, ministries and corporations in government can do to support his family to bring closure to this matter. Please do it. We want to encourage the market women. Please get in your numbers again. Uh, go and protest. Hold these boys' pictures up. Go to the foreign ministry. Go to Jamaica Resort. Get the attention of the president. Go to the House. Get the attention of the House of Representatives and Senators. Go to the ministry, to the Justice Ministry. Get the attention of the Justice Minister. Go to Temple of Justice and also the American Embassy and other embassies in the country and the EU. Try to bring everyone on board. The Press Union of Liberia, get them involved, and hopefully you'll get some answer. That would be my thought, Ashford.
My man.
Yeah.
We will try to the survivors, and if we do so tonight, perhaps we might do another show tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, Sheldon. Enjoy the rest of the Saturday afternoon.
You too, bro.
Amen. Well, folks, I'm going to Liberia next week, and I'm excited to be back home. But I'm not going to do the stuff where you have like 6-7 buses coming to receive you. I am not going to do that because there's a lot of angry people in the country. Somebody might just make use of the opportunity to cause trouble. So we arrive, quietly to see my country for the first time in over a year. And I want to go from place to place to see what's going on in my country, Liberia. And folks, that's all the time we have to be with you, God willing. We might be back tomorrow. Tomorrow afternoon. Until then, folks, I want to say a big thank you to all of you viewers and callers that were on the show today. Thank you as always for being a part of Bridge Radio Africa. The big thanks to Laugh FM 104.1. A big thanks to Joy 101.5. And a big thank you to Super 95.5. Please allow me to borrow the wordings of the wise man. Tough times don't last, tough people do. The height of a man is never known until he rises, because there's no second chance to make that first impression. Don't see okra and swallow bone, because you can't hide the nakedness from bathing bucket. When God bless you, don't see that medicine. A bald-headed man does not walk on the moonlight. Trust no shadow in the dark. Did I sit to buy your gate? Someone blow down and Jack will not. Did I do? The medicine of the microphone, the golden voice of Liberia, ASHFORD the giant, and now you know me, GARLEY. Have a great afternoon.